Hi, ladies. I'm so happy you all tuned in here today. I am Deepti Jain, and I help mompreneurs start and grow their businesses online. Now, one of the feedbacks I've been receiving over and over nowadays, and not surprisingly at all, is that many of us are really struggling with dealing with the impact of COVID on our businesses. Excuse me, right? It's just such a crazy tough time because many of our businesses, physically located businesses, have just been shut down and we can't open them up. Or in many cases, even if the businesses are open, not enough customers are coming in the door, or not enough events are happening or situations are happening where our regular business is functioning appropriately during these crazy times. So the question arises, right? What do we do? Because this situation is completely out of anybody's control. And if you have especially physically based businesses or service businesses which are not currently really operating to anywhere close to their full capacity, what are you going to do? So now, for me, the solution seems to be to migrate more and more towards online businesses, right? Unsurprisingly so, because that's what I specialize in, that's what I focus on. So I really think that now is a great time to really take the online component of your business extremely seriously. Even if you typically have a physically based business, now is the time, really, ladies, to focus in on that online piece, right? And like I always do, I'm going to give you some very quick tips on how I think you can maximize the effect of your online prong or online business at this critical juncture. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. And if you're ready, give me that hashtag ready below, and we'll go ahead and get started with those tips. And I also have something very special for you, which I'll talk about at the end. So hang in there. All right. So what can you do to deal with the impact of COVID on your business, and how can you kind of move towards the online scenario, right? Okay, let's get started. Tip number one. If you have a website already, which I really hope you do, and you are trying to sell your product or service online, one of the biggest things I can suggest to you is go ahead and implement a customer service chat on your website. That's going to make a tremendous difference. It's really easy to do and can be done many times completely for free, and makes a big difference because you can engage with your customers right there on your website while they're there. And if they're hesitating to make that purchase, say you're selling products, right? Selling anything online, and you're kind of new at this especially, or even if you've been doing it for a while but now you really want to expand it for obvious reasons, then one of the biggest things you can do is to talk to them right then when they're hesitating, when they have a question. That timeliness is critical, and if you can just go ahead back and forth with them and kind of chat with them and say, hey, what are you hesitating about? Can I help you? Or do you have a question I can answer? Or I noticed that you kind of were about to buy, or you spent a bunch of time looking at this and then you didn't go ahead and buy that. Those kinds of decisions, or those kinds of helpful comments at the exact right time can really make a huge difference into your bottom line. So implement a customer service chat bot on your website. Now, I'm not going to go into detail here on how and what you can do or the specific services you can use, but if you do have those questions, I'm always available to help you. Send me a message through Facebook Messenger, and I can jump right in and ask me a question there if you have any about specifically what services I'd recommend and so on and so forth. Some of them are completely free, like I said, so think about that. Or if you have any service in mind you've heard about, want to implement, go right ahead. But the important point is implement that customer service chatbot on your website. So that was tip number one. Now, tip number two, especially if you're a service-based business, listen up. Because many times mompreneurs will say to me, hey, Deepti, I am a hairstylist, and hair salons are just not open where I am, or people are just not coming in, or I'm a nail artist, or I'm a yoga instructor, and people are just not coming in, or I'm not being able to open up my online place of business. So what do I do? Now, here's a tip that I have. Pivot your business just a little bit at this point, just a little bit, okay? And you might find that you actually love that pivot. And one of the things I'm going to suggest is that you consider teaching. Consider teaching. So teach or conduct an online class maybe. For example, if you're a yoga instructor, that's a fantastic thing to do. Or even consider a digital course. Now, you might be surprised at the kinds of things that people are not just willing, but eager to learn online, okay? You might think, I'm a hairstylist, who's going to care? Well, you'd be interested, very interested to know that a lot of people might be extremely interested in learning how to style their hair easily, how to maintain it easily, how to give themselves a haircut. I'm just giving examples, ladies. I'm not an hair artist by any means, and I don't know what I'm talking about in that field, but just giving you examples, right? So you can do that in any field. So consider pivoting, especially if you have a service business, but maybe even if you have a product-based one, to doing something just a little different in addition to the services that you offer physically, such as teaching in particular online. Okay, so consider that. That was tip number 2. Now, tip number 3, this applies across the board actually, whether you have a service-based business, whether you have a product-based business, and even if you already have a purely online business, actually, this tip applies, and that is engage with your audience. Engage with them. Put out stuff that's interesting to them. Engagement is just absolutely critical today. Now, if you have a physical business, in regular times, you talk, right? You talk to the people who come in. You might talk to the people who are walking by your store or whatever. You do all that. You have that personal touch. But now you have to do that in an online manner. And you need to engage with your audience. No matter what you're doing online, you need to engage with your audience. And you need to expand that reach. And you need to put out engaging content in a way that you reach more and more people. And to that end, because that's the third and final tip, to that end, I have something really special for you today. I've put together a content starter pack, okay? I've put together a content starter pack that contains a lot of different stuff. It contains 7 viral titles that you can use by just modifying them a little bit. It contains 7 post ideas that are great conversation starters. And it also contains 7 images that I've created for you that you can use as is pretty much across any niche. They're pretty, they're nice, at least I think they are. I put them together, and you can use them for posting on your social media or whatever. So if you want that, I have a link somewhere near where you're watching this video, but it is deeptijainconsulting.com/content starter pack. Again, it's deeptijainconsulting.com/content starter pack. And it's totally free, ladies. It's just a way to kickstart you trying to get that engagement, all right? So go ahead and download that if you haven't yet done that. And good luck with trying to make your business succeed online more and more so in these crazy times. And always, always remember, ladies, we can and we will. Until next time, bye-bye.